So I already did a little bit of work to it. So got the wheels and tires off, got the axle nuts off, started taking out the axles and had to rotate those a little bit, and found some news. It doesn't, I still think I'm gonna have to replace the diff simply for the fact that it was whining really bad on decel, but I don't think it was a catastrophic failure like we all thought. So let's see. So I took those two nuts off, so not to worry. Oh yeah, this thing's toast. You can see, I don't know, whatever this thing is, definitely a screw coming out. Oh yeah, it's toast. So I didn't really get to look at this thing before you guys came under here with me. I thought it might be an easy fix just because the pinion flange was off. I was like, huh. So you can see there is a bolt or something sticking out of that front or that front seal. So anyway, I don't know what the hell that is. It actually doesn't even feel like a bolt or anything. Oh, that's some kind of bearing material. Pretty nice. All right, so it's still toast. I thought I had some good news for you guys, that maybe I could salvage this diff. It's still bad. I don't know what caused the pinion yoke to come off like that right off the splines. Maybe what could have happened is the nut came off. This thing started vibrating to hell, and then it killed that bearing. When we bought this thing, the guy said that it had a new diff in it, which I didn't think anything of. I just thought, okay, he was actually a Toyota mechanic or something like that, so I was like, all right, I can trust him. But all those bolts down there were pretty loose, which kind of makes me worry. Anyway, I'm gonna pick up the Torsen either tomorrow or Saturday, and then I don't know if I'll get it in, but I'll definitely make a video of me tearing this thing out, all right? Alright, so got this off. First thing I noticed was all the splines in there got wallered out. I kind of expected that after seeing how this was laying, but then so this spins, you know, and then I can try going back. So basically, whenever it would go into reverse, I guess, or actually, when you put it in the direction it would be going forward in, it backs up on itself, I guess, just the way it has some preload on it, or the preload, or whatever. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, it spins okay this way. The second you try going this way, it is a bear. So yeah, this is toast. Wow, I didn't notice all the metal shavings in there. Let's check out these axles real quick. They look pretty good. Might be able to sell these and recoup some of the money back. I'm gonna restart the video and show you underneath. So I was a stubborn ass and kept the exhaust in. So that was a bear to get out. But yeah, everything's still in there. I am gonna tie that drive shaft up until I get everything else in place. That way I don't have my fresh royal purple trans fluid going all over the place. Probably gonna clean this up a little bit and just mess around. Well, noticed something there. I guess my alignment got a little tweaked. Fantastic. I don't know. That's weird. Actually, they're both pretty weird. This thing might have been in a crash one time. Anyway, yeah. So that's it right now, and I'll mess around with it here in a little bit more once I get the diff and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna clean up, and I might tear into this diff and just kind of see the damage. I mean, it's junk anyway, so everything's just gonna go in the trash, but I'll let you guys know. All right, so this is actually pretty cool. You can see indentions on the center section really deep. This thing got chewed up. Look at all the metal casings in the bottom. Oh my God. Little pieces of seal everywhere pretty much. Yeah, this thing was toast. It almost looks like the paint we just painted Cassie's car. It's like glittery. But yeah, this thing is, there's no saving it. I might pop these caps off and just kind of take a look at that pinion bearing, but I already know what it's going to look like. That's crazy. It actually, I mean, the gears itself don't look bad. Wow, that's crazy. Insane. All right, so day 2 of actually working on the Miata. So I assembled this axle. I think I showed that in the last part. I had to clean up these threads, and then I actually used the nuts from my previous axles since they weren't chewed up. I had to grind them down. I'll just show you. I had to grind them down because they got mushrooms, and then I went ahead and cleaned up the threads. I'll put some lube on there before I go ahead and put it all together. Went and picked up this Torsen drive shaft right here today. Here's our Torsen that we're gonna be running. So overall, seems pretty good. Just gonna start working on it and we'll go from there. So hopefully it doesn't take too long. It's a beautiful day. I kind of want to go drive this thing. So we'll see how it all goes and just play around from there. You saw me take it out already, so I'm probably just gonna show a couple snippets here and there on how it all went back together, but I'm gonna listen to some music and knock this thing out, so see you in a little bit. So here's the difference between the VLSD drive shaft and the Torsen right here. You can see it's probably about 1.5 inches, maybe an inch shorter. So that's really all it seems like. It has the same flange down here. It's really just, you know, that 1 inch shorter. If I had to guess, you could probably shorten the factory one, but they're so cheap. I paid $20 for this Torsen. And then I guess it just bolts up right here. I need to verify because this is from a Mazda Speed Miata and this is from a 95. So I'm gonna do a little mock-up test fit real quick just to see if it'll fit. If it does, then I'm gonna throw in, or go ahead and throw that drive shaft in and then start going from there. So we'll see you there. All right, so we got it all pretty much finished up. I'll go underneath and show you guys a little bit of everything that goes into doing this. So I'll walk you through step by step because I didn't record all that. So first things first, so I actually kept the exhaust in here, but first thing I did was I actually didn't lose any fluid by jacking it up this way and just keeping it up like this. But I kept the original drive shaft in there until it was time to pull. I then removed the original drive shaft, put in the Torsen specific drive shaft, and then I kept the axles out. And then I took the Torsen diff and I fed it up over this side, the ear over here. I fed it up over the exhaust, and then put a jack right underneath this. I pulled the exhaust over a little bit while Cassie was doing that. Cassie pulled the exhaust over like this to kind of get it out of the way. I was pushing the PPF over to the right, and then I jacked up the diff right on up in there to where it was higher than the PPF, and then I just started, you guys can see, started those brackets right there. So after the diff was slid up over those bolts in the subframe, I just put on those brackets on both sides, so you can see, nice and easy, and then I just finagled that into the PPF, which was actually much easier than with the factory VLSD. The VLSD was kind of stuck in there. I don't know if it was just because it's steel versus aluminum right there or whatnot, but this was extremely easy to get in. After that, I took this top bolt off right here for the upright, took that off, pulled this down, so pulled the upright down, fed the axle in through this side, and then there's a C-clip, or a C-clip that pops into the Torsen. You get it in there, you get it all nice and straight, and then I just kind of bump the end of the axle, just with my hand, and it finally goes in there. Do that. I used a jack because this bearing, or this bushing down here was kind of stiff. I jacked this up right by this side of the hub until this bolt was lined back up. And then I torqued these to 150 foot-pounds. I think that's the spec. It might be a little higher, it might be a little lower. It's big, and I've had issues with hubs going bad because those bolts go back out. So I just do 150. I think that's the spec. It might actually be 185. I'll have to look back. Probably do that right now, and then I'll include the torque spec in the video if I remember. But so that's where I'm at right now. I need to get some, I think it's a 23 millimeter socket, fill the diff up with with 7590, and then it'll be ready to go, and I'll show you a little bit of like what to expect in the difference on another video probably of, VLSD versus Torsen and all that. So we'll see you after I get this thing back on the ground and fill it up with fluid.